Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's cause he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Knoxxx. We about to give y'all something special. You ready?
And welcome back, everybody, to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx and Chris Platt show. And today we have a big show because, frankly, NXT TakeOver in your house took place. Now, we dubbed WrestleMania in your house, but this was really a throwback feel. This was really a pay-per-view that actually felt like it was in your house. They even brought back guys like Todd Pettingill. I lost my shit when I saw that because I felt that was good shit. And again, you can find me anywhere social media is at my namesake. I am loud. I speak loud. And fellas, frankly, if you're not making it get loud, that's your problem, not mine. Mike not spelled with 3 X's with people. You already know that. And Chris, where can they find you at, my friend?
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. You all can find me on Twitter at TheRealCPlatt and all over thechairshot.com. Oh, also go to ProWrestlingTees.com/TheChairShot. Pick up an official Chairshot t-shirt, please and thank you. Thank you and please.
Hashtag use your head. And as always, on the BDSR Radio Networks, the best damn show on radio networks where you can find this podcast wherever podcasts are sold, which is absolutely free. So you can't have a podcast network and not get us. But let's go into this now. A week in wrestling. We haven't been here last week. We were not here because of the social injustice that took place in America. I myself had a private conversation with Chris. I was a little frustrated. I did not feel like I could bring my energy and perspective to a show. So apologies for not having a show last week. Thanks, Chris, for being a friend and talking to me off air, and we worked things out, and we ended up having the show 50 Shades of Black in Professional Wrestling, which is out there right now, which Chris was also a part of, and other men from Chairshot.com, KME, and so forth and so forth. But today's show is here, and I'm hyped and I'm ready because NXT TakeOver, I'm sorry, we were doing 50 Shades of Black. We got off air because Dice Man says, hey, NXT is starting. And I had a great night in professional wrestling that night, Chris. Your thoughts?
First off, I loved all the old school motif. I did. I popped when I saw Todd Pettingill as well. Plus, he had on the old school 3-button suit, which if you know anything about fashion, we don't rock them no more.
No,
that was cool. I like showing Grandpa's Degeneration X. They're trying to figure out how to watch on the computer, and everybody's old and gray and bearded. It was cool. I liked the presentation. I liked the house. I liked the setup of it. The actual in-ring product, it was kind of spotty or me. It was hit or miss, but I'm sure we're going to get into that momentarily.
Well, you know what? I think it's easy to hit or miss in this pandemic era of professional wrestling, right? We spoke about that before. But also, I feel that in this pandemic era of professional wrestling, I've had some of the best matches that I've had. Okay, and I go back to Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles on SmackDown, which to me, even you said is better than the WrestleMania match that they gave us. So, going to talk about that as well. But this pay-per-view was full of things that we're getting now in this pandemic era, and that's also a cinematic match. I want to start right there. If we can go into the NXT Championship, where we got Adam Cole, baby, retaining his title against the Velveteen Dream, or as I had called him, a boop named Negan. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The cosplay was on full effect by Patrick, a.k.a. the Velveteen Dream, as he, went into the package yet again. When it's a big pay-per-view time, I believe he always steps up. If we call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania, I think we've got to call Velveteen Dream Mr. TakeOver, because every single TakeOver, when he's a part of it, it's a big deal to him. He makes it feel like it's a big deal, and I admire that as a wrestling fan. But overall, we talked about these cinematic matches, Chris, and how they've been put together, and some good, some bad. I got to say, I thought it was okay, but I was slightly disappointed. Now, I've seen people out there, Spotface, I'm sorry, if you want to speak, at Spotface on Twitter, said worst cinematic match in the history of cinematic matches. I think Gargano and Ciampa was, because I didn't think they needed to be in there, and I like that match as well. So I don't think any of them have been bad, but I wanted more from this when I saw this, especially going to give me the old school John Cena, Eddie Guerrero match when they had him out in the parking lot with the guys there. And you put the fans in the cars. I liked everything about it, but is there something about the match just didn't hit for me, Chris?
I actually agree with that. Now, full disclosure, I'm a huge Velveteen Dream fan, so anytime he's on my screen, I'm going to be emotionally invested, so it's going to heighten my interest in this match. So I enjoyed the match for what it was, but yeah, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. It kind of falls somewhere in the middle. My biggest qualm with this match, however, was the finish with Velveteen losing, because I thought there was no way in hell he was going to lose, because this marks, the third or the fourth time that he's lost going for that NXT title. Yeah. So you're almost starting to paint him with a certain brush, like he's the guy that can't get it done. Now, maybe that's the story they're telling. Maybe they plan on calling him up to the main roster. I think that's a mistake without the fans being there, because that's the biggest part of his character and his gimmick is the connection that he has with the fans. So I wouldn't necessarily call him up quite yet. But, and if it is the storyline they're telling that he can't win the big one and then he automatically wins the big one, in wrestling in the last 20 years, I haven't seen that be pulled off well, with the exception of Tommy Dreamer and ECW.
I'm sorry. You forget Tommy Dreamer. You forget Mick Foley. You forget Daniel Bryan. Hello.
Well, I said Mick Foley. Well, I said Tommy Dreamer.
Right. Well,
because he was the one that continually lost and lost. Daniel Bryan and Mick Foley had names for themselves before they went into the industry, before they went into the WWE.
I don't think that the American Dragon, who I'm a fan of, Daniel Bryan, was that over before WWE. That's just me. I think people noticed him when he got fired from Nexus, which is 10 years. Nexus now, I can't believe that Nexus is 10 years old, and really nothing has come from that, which is really disappointing. But with Dream, and we were talking about this as well when we watched. We always have a watch party when we're watching pay-per-views, and people were saying, well, maybe they don't want to go up, with how they're trying to distinguish the brand NXT being a brand amongst itself. So maybe everybody doesn't go up. Maybe it's not the breeding ground to go up anymore. And I go, well, bullshit, because they got guys going up every 2 weeks now. Okay, why not Velveteen Dream? Did he get in trouble somewhere backstage? Is this have they figured out everything with the controversy over Twitter post? Okay, I just don't know. Not to bring that back up. It's just I just don't know why Velveteen Dream didn't win this title. I had him pegged win this belt, especially when I saw cinematic where I said, well, hell, that's an even better way for him to win the match. As you said, he's a character that's over with the crowd. No crowd in the Independent Bigger. Okay, but you made a scene for it to be a scene, which way he could do his best performing. And I thought he performed very well on that match. Again, I thought the name Negan gimmick was amazing from The Walking Dead. So I was ready for it. I was ready for him to win, and he did not win. That was disappointing. But also, we did have the women's NXT championship match, which featured the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Charlotte Flair, lose. But she didn't lose to the Ripley, what do you call it, the luscious Rhea Ripley?
The delicious, sir.
Delicious Rhea Ripley. She didn't even lose to her. She lost to Corey. How do you feel about that? And you know what? I think it's the only time somebody can lose or win and no one be mad about it. If to be honest, it's like these three girls are great at what they do, right? So, yeah, you want to see Rhea Ripley probably win it because they're pushing her to be the one who should have won it. And I'm okay with her not winning it. I said this before in previous shows, like this pandemic era, she should win. That's why she didn't win at Mania. She has to win at the crowd because the crowd is what pushed her here, right? So her winning in this fashion does nothing. What's your thoughts about this match? And I thought the match was pretty damn well played out. I thought it was a very hard-hitting matches for these females.
Oh, yeah, this was a hell of a match. It was the match of the night, in my opinion, and it certainly was the match that should have main evented the program because it left everything on a high note. Just doubling back real quick, though, I
did love the photo finish at the end. We talk about setting scenes in wrestling. That scene was beautiful. I said that watching the confetti with matching the in your houseness. It was amazing to me.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. But the thing with Rhea Ripley, just to double back real quick, I think, and I'm just speculating here, they might see her in the same vein as a Velveteen Dream. Two individuals that are super young. Dream is 24, I think Rhea is 23. So they're super young, and they might think they've got a lot of time. So there's no need to rush them. They're going to be the future. So maybe they just want to let them cook a little bit and kind of perfect everything and smooth over off the rough edges. I don't know.
We are a hot shot microwave society, world of professional wrestling fans and fans in general, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind slow burns, but just don't put them continuously in the title picture. That's what makes it, you think, that's what ruined Dolph Ziggler. Putting Dolph Ziggler in so many high-profile matches and storylines to never have a payoff was the worst thing for Dolph Ziggler's career. So I hope that's not the path they're going to go down.
But, yeah, this was a damn fine show. And shout out to Io Shirai, or who I call I Sharona. Little inside joke. You got to watch Potter's War to get that one. Damn good wrestler, considered by many one of the best, if not the best wrestler, men or woman, in the ring today. and she earned the spot, and everybody played their parts well, and I'm interested to see where they go out of this. Now, Mike, one thing that I heard, I don't know if you heard Triple H's post-game press conference on Facebook. He was talking about how a lot of people he was anticipating the backlash, saying, well, why would you take the title off of Charlotte? If that was the case, she should have never won it in the beginning. Right. And his rebuttal to that was, let it play out. It'll make more sense in about 3 or 4 months, the reason why we did the things the way we did them. Obviously, we're going to get an Ice Sharona-Charlotte one-on-one matchup, which that has the potential to be phenomenal. But, yeah, look, fair enough.
Even if we don't, but even if we don't, I'm okay with that because I'm always telling fans just watch the payoff, right? That's the beginning or the end. You don't really know there. And of course, we speculated. We all were right. You know, that's why we are our own dirt sheet writers. Oh, well, she's going to be back on Raw in the title picture span. And sure enough, there she was inserting herself in Monday Night Raw. When you're as great as Charlotte Flair is, and you have these many programs of television, and you have these many girls that can actually work with her now. I mean, she came up with wasn't too many people that Charlotte could work with, right? You had your Bailey, your Sasha, your Natties, you know what I mean, of the world. But the trim of the pickings was there. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the other girls, you know, that are there. You know, like I'm a fan of Alexa Bliss, but other people say you can't follow Bliss like that. You know what I mean? And maybe the company don't, although they shot her to the top as well. But I'm okay with all this. Give me Charlotte everywhere all the time because she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. So I'm okay with Charlotte being anywhere. She doesn't have to have the belt. Like she said last night on Raw, I don't have to have the belt, you two, to be considered relevant. Yeah, talking about Bailey. Oh, we want some Bailey. And Sasha Banks was looking like a glass of freaking mocha chocolate milk last night. Good. Google. Go ahead, Chris.
I can't even follow that. But yeah, I agree with you. And, you know, getting back to NXT, I think we need to give Triple H a little bit of rope because NXT is, you know, that's the people's product. So, okay, yeah. If we need to give it 3 or 4 months to see how things play out, that's fair. And plus, they're dealing with abbreviated rosters on all 3 brands.
Absolutely.
So, and not only are they dealing with abbreviated rosters, how many stars do they actually have? And Charlotte is one of the brightest. You know, the way she's been booked, the way she carries herself, the way she's coming to her own, the way she's had some cosmetic enhancements that have enhanced the character. You know, she's put in the work inside and outside the ring.
You say stars. They have a star that won a match that opened up the pay-per-view who I don't have many guys I say I love today. Like, I love Macho Man Randy Savage. I love Dusty Rhodes. I love The Ultimate Warrior, right? I love me some Prince Devitt. I love me some Finn Balor. And there's a star right there that they're continuously dropping the ball on. Then he has an opening match. Okay, you give him he takes the springboard that you give him for Pride a couple of WrestleManias ago, and you do nothing with it. I don't understand what's going on with that. I'm assuming it has to be something backstage. Again, maybe people want to be on NXT. If I'm getting paid the same exact money as main eventer, and I'm in Tampa and Orlando 24/7, I'm great with that. Okay, I'm saving money. Okay, when we know these guys pay for all their travel expenses and things along that nature, I'm okay with that. So, but there's a star right there, and Finn Balor that they're not using. And again, who was the guy? And I did this on purpose. It's no disrespect to his talent, but Priest, really?
Damian Priest.
Really? Really? Like, that's the worst matchup for both these guys, to be honest with you. I get you trying to get Damian Priest over and how the promo went. You're going to take out the big guy. You attack the big guy. I get it. Just no. Why can't Damian Priest couldn't attack like Keith Lee or something? That makes more sense to me. You know, Dominic DeHucci or whatever his name is, or in the Cross guys. I don't know. I just didn't get it. I didn't like that match, although Damian Priest took a hell of a bump in that match off the ropes onto the stairs. I thought that was it. And the match was pretty good. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that match?
You know, going back to what you said, I'm not interested whatsoever in what Finn Balor is doing right now. And it's of no fault of his own. He is a guy, I agree. He's got mainstream potential. He's the ultimate package. He's nice looking. He can talk. He can wrestle. He's got swag. And he's got his ace in the hole, which is the demon, where he can pull that out for big matches and maybe pop a rating or draw some money or something like that. I think he's more a victim of circumstance more than anything. Because I remember when he first came up to the main roster, and they shot the rocket to him. Remember, he beat Roman, and he beat Seth to be the inaugural Universal champ. But then he got hurt. And he's never picked back up where he left off. He never
Not
got that
once.
momentum back. Hell, it took him, 3-4 years to even ask for a damn rematch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, So I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's not somebody's cup of tea or whatever the case may be, but I feel like they're leaving money on the table. I'd say this. If he was in AEW, he'd be one of the biggest stars in the world.
Absolutely.
Because they would present him as such, you know?
Absolutely. And dare I say, would he be better off there in AEW?
I think so, actually. Yes, I do.
But he would have to spin. I don't think the Demon would. I know the Demon did it internationally before it came to WWE. I'm very much aware. As I said, I'm a Prince DeVitt fan. Okay, it's not many guys I fought from the indie circle into professional. My last one before Prince was probably CM Punk on the indie scene and Daniel Bryan, American Dragon, because it was in Dragon's Gate, which was close by Philadelphia, in Delaware. But I'm not sure about if Finn would be better in AEW, because I wonder how that would get over if they were to ever pull out the Demon character over there. I don't know. The wrestling community is very fickle.
Well, I say get him on. Touche. But get him over there. Throw him on the Last OG. Throw him on Rizzoli and Isles if that's still a show. Put them all across the spectrum.
Bring back Franklin and Bash. First of all, okay, because that was my show. All right,
throw him on some of them Big Bang Theory reruns if you can, computer digitalize him in there. Oh, it's not on
that's on HBO Max now. See that HBO looking for sponsors? You got one right here around the blocks of Mike Knoxxx and Chris Platt. We'll do it for you for half the price of anybody else is doing it for you. I guarantee you. Just give us HBO Plus for free. So we're asking. We'll plug you all day. But until then, fix your damn stuff, your interfaces. It's horrible. How you wait a year after Disney Plus and Thrust, and you have HBO Max and Climax, and you give us that? Nobody's climaxing because it's too damn hard to max.
Is there Skinamax program on there to Climax
no, it's
too?
not. No, I don't. I mean, you know what? I never even looked. I didn't even look to see if the Bunny Ranch and stuff was on there and that kind of stuff. Who actually looks for porn nowadays? It's on your phone. It's just everywhere. It's on Twitter. You just go to Twitter and somebody liked it and you go, ooh.
Touche. But you paying for it, you might as well utilize it to all of its capabilities.
You flip your screen when your wife walk in. just sit there scrolling along. What other matches we have on the card, man?
So one match in particular that I wanted to touch on was the North American champion, Keith Lee, Mr. Limitless himself, versus Johnny Gargano. And Mike, Keith Lee is too big for NXT. And I mean that quite literally, because it's hard for me to believe that he's going to be out here catching a fair one with all these itty bitty guys. No disrespect to them. Johnny's a great worker. Not really my guy, but I respect the talent. I know what he is. But yeah, and they tried. They really did try. But it just took me, it totally took away my suspension of disbelief. He needs to be up there banging and clanging with the Bronze and the
Once you saw him go with Brock. And Brock at Raw Running, that was the time you brought him. You should have. It should Rumble after main or Raw after Rumble should have been Keith Lee on the main roster, and he deserves to be there. And again, we saw the movie. What's the movie they had on Netflix with the championship? It's like Mike with the wrestling version that had him.
With the little black kid.
Yeah. And Pam.
Jarius or something.
Whatever it was.
Was married to the white guy. Yeah, whatever.
Watch it from actually she was a grandmother. Her daughter was married to the I watched it with my kids. My kids loved the movie actually, but Keith's in that. Nice. And I'm like, wow, okay, they put him in their movies. That mean they like his talent. That mean they like his voice. They like his personality. That's what I know that much about the company. If you're in movies, it's not because you were just the guy who got picked. You did something, then they put you on one of their movies. And so from there, I'm thinking like this guy's got to be the next big thing. And I'm going to say that I think Keith Lee is the next big thing. But this match, I'm like you. When he's going against Damian or, these bigger guys, I can really believe it. You know what I mean? If he's fighting Joe, I can believe it. Mm-hmm. He should be crushing these smaller guys. And I get the added. I know where wrestling went from when we got, the innovation of the cruiserweight division. Right, we're watching the Jerichos and the Dean Malenkos and the Eddie Guerreros and the Chris Benoits of the world. Chris Benoit was different because his muscle mass made you think he could go. Chris Jericho to me would not be able to go by size. Like we're talking about believability against someone like Keith Lee. Someone like Keith Lee would have to just completely. And we know how the match is going to go. How the scientific wrestling matches go. Big guy, little guy, tear the legs down, work the legs. They don't do that as much no more in wrestling.
No, I miss it.
It's one of the golden. It's one of the best bases of professional wrestling that is completely missing from today. It's why Orton is so good at what he does, right? Because he still does that kind of thing. You got to single out a body part, work on that body part. I've seen these kids work on a body part, and then the person is getting worked on switch the ankle injury. It was the right knee, but it became the left knee. Like, that's not the knee they were working on. Like, stuff like that is what wrestling fans is missing, and missing from that as well. What else we had on this pay-per-view?
So next up, we had Karrion Kross with Scarlett taking out. Go ahead, go ahead, go on.
Flag.
Go on.
Flag.
I know where we're heading. Go ahead. Let's get to it.
He will make it on the main roster strictly because of her.
That's what's scary, though. Are they going to look at her and say she's the star of the show?
I'm gonna be I'm a one that you want. I'm here for the smoke. We want the smoke. Okay.
Are they going to Rusev him?
No, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't see no cup in your hand. I need to see the cup. We want the smoke, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna be that guy. He is not that cool to me. He don't sell well enough. His facial expressions that some might find really cool, I find quite annoying. It's like I forget what show it was, right? I think it was one of them Tough Enough shows, and it's like they were talking about Patrick. I remember this exactly, and they were like, some people play wrestling, and some people wrestle. Follow me. He gets hit, and it's like I'm playing with my son, where he feels the need that he has to make the facial expression, as opposed to making it based off the moves that are being performed upon him. And he was this big old internet sensation coming in. Everybody talked about. So I went and looked him up. And I know I'm always a hater of what everybody else talks about. Not in this case. This isn't me blatantly looking at Kenny Omega and on purpose to be a heel saying I'm taking Seth Rollins over him. I still would, but that was me being a heel. Omega is the man, okay? Karrion Kross is not. He's just not for me.
He's not supposed to be selling right now either. They're trying to get that killer gimmick over, even though he's not supposed to be a killer. This was a squash match. This wasn't a squash match. What was it, 80-20 Kross? I would say 90-10.
I was going to go 70-30. It doesn't matter if it was 80-20, as you can say, right? The 20 he didn't sell. The 20 he didn't sell. And his opponent was who? Again.
Was Ciampa, Tommaso Ciampa.
Exactly. That's what makes it even worse. Okay? He's fighting the Blackheart himself. Okay? That Randy Orton's making fun of on Twitter, which means he must be coming up soon. That's all that can really mean. Right? Yep. Okay? Which I'm here for, which means he's going to get real pissed because he don't want to go to the main roster. We all know that feeling, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going against the Blackheart, and he whoops his ass like this. This is the man who I've seen have some of the greatest matches I've ever seen in the last 20 years. I can't, I think we got to start judging what we are in wrestling, right? For today's standards of wrestling with the bumps and the false finishes, he's had some of the best matches with him and Ciampa and Gargano, okay? And then I get this. How am I supposed to believe this guy can be this great if he can't get his ass whooped and take a sell? That's just me. I digress. Your thoughts on the guy, because I stopped you in the beginning because, his girl's going to get him to the main roster before he gets there for himself.
And his size. Don't forget his size, too. They're going to give him every shot in the book because of his size and because of her. But this is what that was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a squash match to qualify this guy, to make you look at this guy and say, oh, he's a bad melon farmer. Ciampa's a made man. There's nothing more for him to do on NXT except for mentor guys and help get some guys over. He's made. He's good. You can plug him right in the main event picture tomorrow, and he's there. He's good. But this was to establish Kross and get his character over, and you're supposed to be looking at him like, whoa, he did that to Ciampa? With all the baggage that we have of Ciampa and everything that you just said complimentary of him. That's exactly what this was. I don't think he was supposed to sell. Now, does he have to work on it? Maybe.
I didn't get it. But even when guys are dominant, they're supposed to still pay respect to the talent they're going against. And that's just me. Ciampa was putting some really heavy moves on him, and he was, if those who can't see it on, hear it on radio, I'm shaking my head. Okay. So your fault for not watching the video and the podcast. You should download both of them. Go to YouTube, watch the video, and also download the podcast on all your favorite podcast networks, which are free. Now, what other match we had on the card? That was the last match, I believe.
I'm looking. There was that the 6-woman tag that started off the show, but
yeah. All right, we move on. We move on. No offense, ladies. All right, it was a lot of ass in the ring though. So overall, NXT in your house for me, pandemic or not, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I was highly entertained. I know the matches didn't hit, but I got Charlotte, the greatest women wrestler of all time, Flair. I got a title win. I got the that's a high score. I'm gonna go to a 3. That's a high score. In honor of Belt Kings Radio Presents Champions, episode 6 out right now, television title, Arn Anderson. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 because what I got was cool. I love the package. I wasn't disappointed at all. I just wasn't over the top about it. And normally for NXT, I can come out saying it's an over the top praise of you in the ring. So with that, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Arn Anderson television title. What are you going to ahead and give it there, Mr. CP Platt?
I'm going to go 3 out of 5 TV titles as well. But instead of Arn Anderson, I'm going Johnny B. Bad. And the reason I go Johnny B. Bad is much like Johnny B. Bad, the presentation was cool. I really dug the presentation. But the in-ring product, it was all right. So that's why I go 3 out of 5. Johnny B. Bad.
I hated the gimmick, but I love this in ring. I thought Johnny B. Bad was over. Yo,
I thought he was black the whole time. I didn't know he wasn't black.
No lie. I thought he was black too, dog. When I found out Mark Merrill wasn't, I was like, oh wow, that's really they black faces. We need to be black faces. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was black for real. And you know what? I like how we're not then what we are now because we'd have ripped that. We'd have ripped that so bad, and not about the social injustice. It's just like you just did it, and we didn't act like we didn't know that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like you put makeup on this guy because we didn't have HD TV, so we didn't know that he wasn't black. We just thought he had a seriously deep tan, which is probably what it was probably like a Miami tan. Like you've seen, like when them tans they set out too much. Like on Jersey Shore, they go to the beach and into the booth. But real fast, we're gonna make this very short impromptu show because we wasn't here last week. Had another show I did today already. Like I said, Bell Kings Radio Presents Champions, episode 6 television title is out right now. Monday Night Raw was last night. We know we don't have the benefit of talking about a show after a show as we're doing right now. We're talking about stars. And I just going to say this. Bobby Lashley with the real MVP, who was the MVP last night. That shirt was insane. Hence why I know I got my Shad Gaspar on. Collar and elbow, get yours. I got mine. MVP, please. Where did you get that shirt of Shad? We want it. We need it. Trust me, we want that shirt. But MVP and Bobby Lashley to me, Angel Garza and Selena Vega and the Street Profits, as corny as it can be, as corny as it can be, and White Jesus, Raw is knocking it out the park. And I think as much as we gave them hell, and I can't believe that them by adding about 20 people in the crowd would make that big of a difference, but it actually does. Okay? And yeah, they stole it. So what? Everything's being stolen. Raw was good, and Raw has been good, Chris. Your thoughts about Monday Night Raw?
You mentioned all those people, and you didn't even get to the tag team, the women's tag team champs making their place on the Raw with Big Booty Bailey and Chef's Kiss.
We want some Bailey.
And Sasha Banks. And of course,
the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Her name is Flair.
Raw was fantastic. And I love the bookend between having the ladies out there first, Asuka and Charlotte, setting up what we were going to see. And they gave them a hell of a long time. That was, what, a 2-3 segment match?
Yeah, they did.
The only thing that took away from me is the ending. It was a little bit of a smudge, but I understand. You know what I mean? I get it. They were trying to sell the pay-per-view and whatnot, but I'm not going to nitpick that. I could watch Sasha, I could watch Sasha all day, but I could watch Charlotte and Asuka wrestle every single day, and it would never get tired to me.
And I love the backstage they did with Asuka too, where she was, Flair was getting imbued. And did you ever take anything serious? It smacked the mouth out of her, yo. And then even inserting Nia Jax at the end in the main event. Like Raw was good last night. Even to listen, I get, and I know wrestling fans love to shit on everything WWE does, but they are a company that's trying to make money. And they will capitalize on anything they can capitalize on. And they have turned the greatest WrestleMania could be. I want people to understand that. They say that the marquee says greatest WrestleMania of all time. But if you listen to the show, they say could be the greatest wrestling match of all time. And they have since gone to WWEshop.com, cheap pop, but it's not because you pay for it. Okay. They have a line now of greatest wrestling T-shirts, and I want like all 12. Okay, I want like they got WrestleMania 3, they got WrestleMania 6, they got you name the match you thought was the hottest match in their history. They have greatest wrestling match of all time T-shirts being sold, and I love when he called him Adam. Christian called him Adam instead of calling him Edge. Like Raw, and again, we're fast forwarding here because we're going to get out of here shortly. But Raw was really good to me, and I watched it. It felt like 3 hours breeze past, and I came in that time I thought that a Raw went that breeze past.
And that greatest wrestling match thing of all time, it's funny to me because they're clearly trolling the internet hashtag journalists. And if you want to fight back against the hashtag journalism of wrestling journalists, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/TheChairShot. Pick up your official hashtag journalism shirt. Fight back against it. And these guys are so self-important and so self-righteous that they're falling right into the work and don't even realize that they're being trolled. It's got to be a troll. You know how I want this match to end, Mike? How? Ding, ding, ding. RKO. 1.
That would, oh God. Camera down, man down, 3. Man down. Pimp in distress. Pimp in distress. Damon, I'm a boy, Damon, I'm a boy. Boy, knocked the whole camera. They knocked the whole. Baby, when I say the boy's got his own money, I mean the boy has got his own money. Listen.
And Mike, where were your antennas when my camera was falling to the ground?
I was watching, sir. I was watching. Listen, I'm sorry. Back to Bobby Lashley. We're gonna get up out of here, man. And I hope I said this. I watch a lot of wrestling, and watch parties. For me, I am not a Bobby Lashley fan, but I'm becoming one, and it's because of this run between Leo Rush and him. And minus what's going on with him and Lana, that was a blimp in the road. That's not, that's what it is. And what we're getting with MVP and him. This is the Bobby Lashley. I guess I was told about him in TNA. I refused to watch because I couldn't stand the headband. I'm sorry. I just thought he looked ridiculous in that headband. Moose looks ridiculous in that headband. You can't have a bald head and a big ass head like Barry Bonds and have the headband on. I'm sorry. So I couldn't get with it. Right. But for me, what I'm getting from Lashley, what I've been getting from Lashley, I'm becoming a fan. And I'm loving. I've always said he should have been where Brock Lesnar is because he could be Brock Lesnar. He really could be. They could really utilize his history in the armed services and capitalize on that, but they don't. So with that being said, your thoughts on Raw, your belt grade on Raw rather.
Yeah, this Raw was phenomenal, man. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Sting United States title runs. I really enjoyed this show from end to end. It dragged a little bit. The Street Profits thing, which that was probably the best one of the ones that they've done, so I will give them that. But yeah, we had good wrestling on the show. We had character development. We had cohesive plots that made sense. And my biggest takeaway, and you brought it up earlier with Asuka, because I've been very critical of this character, but that one little slap, and that little backstage interaction with Charlotte, that added so much depth to her character. So, yeah, chef's kiss. Shout out to Monday Night Raw, man.
And people always say they're ripping Asuka. They're putting Asuka down. They're overlooking Asuka. Well, that little bit, like you said, stood out. That made it where she is being considered. Even Charlotte, you think it ain't funny? Because she's coming off like, I don't care. Oh, I do, because when she gets in that ring, Asuka's very serious. Asuka's gonna kill you. I will never forget that. That belongs to two people, her and Joe, okay, for what it's worth. Because what they were doing in that squared circle. I loved it. But that being said, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Like I said, a short impromptu show. Look for this show on YouTube, on your local podcast networks, or even your international podcast networks, because if you got it, we're there. So with that being said, we out of here, y'all.
Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Knoxxx. We about to give y'all something special. You ready?